This podcast is brought to you by Itopia Life Herb House, where cannabis and culture combine for a one-of-a-kind experience. Visit them at 10A West Kings House Road, just across from the Canadian Embassy. Also follow them on IG at Itopia Life or their webpage at itopialife.com for the latest info on strains and merch.
There you go.
There we go.
And Lothian's Boutique, follow them on Instagram at Lothian's Boutique. You can check them out in Portmore at 23 West Tradeway. And guys, you can use my code RAN10 to get 10% off your next month of purchase. And of course, shout out to Lulu's Holistics for sponsoring this week's podcast. As per usual, use the code TheFix to get 10% off your next buy. Like, go in their store. It's like Black Friday now, so they're gonna have deals upon deals. And you can also use our code to get more deals, more discounts. So The Fix, Lulu's Holistic. Check the description link below.
Shout out our Patreon DB, of course. Shout out to all our patrons who support us on Patreon. You can also support us if you want to become a patron. Patreon.com/thefixja. Fix merch. Go cop the black tee with the white logo, the blue tee with the faded logo, the Fix mask, as well as the Fix cup, as well as our brand new Fix things merch, all up on our merch site right now. Teespring.com/stores the Fix JA. I made some allusions to artists and how they've spoken out against the virus and vaccines. Of course, one popular one or one major one is of course Buju Banton. Buju Banton. When you see those videos that he has made and you know the influence that he has on people, how do you feel as somebody who is a medical practitioner? How do you feel?
And what you've been telling people.
It was painful. That was very painful watching that video because I'm a huge fan of Buju's music and I'm aware of the influence he has. I'm aware that there are already people who are, who are skeptical. And what he said is it has the potential to do so much damage.
It does.
I'm not sure what motivated him to do it. I'm not sure, but it was just painful to watch that because it was just not good. And there's a comment about master make for man or whatever, which really makes no sense. I'm not sure where he was coming from with that, but the science again shows that if everyone wears a mask properly, we can decrease the spread of the virus. I mean, there's a lot of research on that. We know this. A mask is not foolproof. A mask is not perfect.
The same way like a condom isn't.
Yeah, but it makes a big difference though. It makes a big difference. It's like you want to go back road and you say, me now wear no condom, I tour the whole of back road. Where's back road, by the way? I hear about it.
Port Henderson. It's the Portmore? Off the tour.
I've heard about it.
Yeah.
Portmore, where's that?
It's like off the Causeway Bridge, yeah.
Where's that? What's Causeway?
St. Catherine.
There's somewhere called back road.
You should take the tour. It's quite the safari tour. At night time.
Okay.
No, I haven't partaken. I've toured. I've driven past. It's quite the wildlife experience. Oh, look at that over. Wow. Look at that. Wow, and over there you see.
So that you're
on tour.
And you said, yo, I'm not wearing a condom because I'm a bad man. It's a stupid thing to do. The thing about the coronavirus thing is that we keep getting new research. So what we know, for example, is that many people who have it don't know they have it. And you can spread it without even knowing you have it. And it's very important to wear a mask because it protects not only you to some extent, but it protects others around you if you have it.
Yeah.
And that's a very important principle, that you are protecting other people. So if you know that this will protect them and you refuse to do it, there's a certain amount of selfishness involved. Because you can pass it on and any number can play. You don't know what somebody might have.
Yeah.
So for example, people will say, well, if I have no underlying condition, me good. That's not necessarily true because you've had young people who've gotten it and died.
Yeah.
Or of a 90-odd-year-old person got it and came back out of the hospital. You just don't know.
Yeah.
And the thing about underlying conditions is this. You can have an underlying condition and not know that you have it.
Exactly.
Because many persons in this country are hypertensive and they don't know they have high blood pressure. They don't know. You could have it and don't know. Anybody in this room. So you may have an underlying condition, I don't know. Or you may get it and don't know you have it and take it home to somebody who has it. So we know these things do make a difference. And it's important for people like us in these kind of, settings to encourage others to just respect the science to help us to ride this thing out.
I think what you said about selfishness, I think that's a big part to play in this. And I just want, of course, preface my comments by saying Buju Banton is a legend in our music. I have to do the Stephen A. Smith thing. He's a legend in our music. He's a musical icon. He's a multiple-time award-winning artist.
A genre bending.
What else?
Prophetic
good
song lyricist.
The thing is, we really
Yes,
don't know. The thing is, we
potent.
really don't know what his. I'd love to find out what his thought process was when he
But
said that.
I just thought that it reeked of lacking empathy. When the part of the man say, "Oh, if you're dead."
It's almost
That's
like
definitely
Marie
true.
Antoinette.
Yeah.
Well, that was spoken
Let
out,
them
and that is
eat.
definitely lacking in empathy. Definitely.
I think it's born out of frustration.
Pandemic fatigue that I was going to ask
Not
you about.
only that, but career fatigue.
Well,
I believe-
everyone's lulled, yeah.
I believe Buju had certain plans in place, and because of this pandemic, of course, big comeback plans, and this pandemic
It's a
probably
setback.
has set back everything. I feel like he's ultimately frustrated by that.
See, we really don't know the whole story, but having said that, you speak about empathy. I have a lot of empathy for people in the entertainment industry, like him, and musicians, singers, actors, stand-up comedians, anybody who performs for an audience.
Took
I
a
feel
hit
it
this
for them.
year, yep.
Because some people haven't had work since like February, March. Which it makes it more upsetting when you hear things like that, because the longer people behave like this, is the longer it will take
The
to
industry.
go back to
Right.
normal.
I've said,
Or
it's
to
like the
achieve a new
people that who are
normal.
complain about
Yeah.
it, the most are the people that more contribute to us being in this situation longer.
Yeah.
Them not follow the protocol. Them not follow.
Them them brunch.
Yeah.
As Javi said, it's no longer party. It's called brunching.
Brunches.
Like you're going to the beaches and they might have them underground and undercover, like the underground railroad of
Not wearing
socializing, not wearing masks, not wash them hands, and not social distance. And it's just like the longer we are in this mess, or the longer you refuse to comply, is like the longer we're gonna be in this mess. Pandemic fatigue. Like, how can we get over this? Like, what are some of the things that we can to do to,
Cope.
yeah.
The first thing is to practice social distancing and proper hand washing and wear a mask when you out and about. People. I mean, it'd be good to be wearing one here, but you wouldn't hear me too well through the mic. But at least I'm not too close to you guys.
Yeah.
We've sanitized everything.
Yeah.
Space, by the way.
Sanitized, yeah.
Apart from your minds from some of the comments earlier, which you people did not hear. As the first thing. The other thing is to, and this is separate and apart. Remember, I'd mentioned that COVID has affected so many aspects of our health and our
Yes.
mental health.
Should talk about that.
Mental health.
Touch on, yeah.
Because we are social creatures. So when you tell us to not be too close and we can't socialize the way we do, I empathize with people who go crazy and need to hang out with their friends and all of this stuff. I do, because we are social creatures. It's important to just stay connected as best you can. I mean, thank God in this day and age, unlike when I was a kid a long time ago, as I told you, you have things like FaceTime, video call, Zoom,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
That's another conspiracy theory, right?
What?
So them trying to make us be more distant from each other and to make us be more technologically
On the gadgets.
connected in terms of social connected. So this is all a plan by the government.
Of where?
The world.
The world government, because this is the plan by the New World Order, right? This is one of their key plans, to distance people and to let them be disconnected, because the more united people are, the stronger we are. And when there's no unity among people, there won't be enough strength to overthrow this new world. I sound stupid,
You've been, let me ask you something. You've been smoking all the stash.
No, These are real things that them say.
Yeah.
These conspiracy theories.
No, so and let's talk about that, doctor, because I mean, you know, it's stupid of us to not consider that there's so many people who are suffering mentally
A lot.
from this fatigue and even
Not just fatigue,
depression.
but anxiety and depression. I mean,
Yeah.
many people
Suicide rates
totally.
have seen gone up a
The
lot.
anxiety reaches
Yeah.
some people, man, because there's a paranoid. Everywhere you go, you have to be spraying everything and doing all of this. And then some people have already been lonely. And then they have to distance more. They become even more lonely. Some people, just the job uncertainty can create anxiety.
No
I mean,
jobs.
you have a job and everything set up, everything good. You, for example, you're in a stage production and you're ready to say, yeah, man, I gotta kill it this year. And then guess what? No more plays, no more stage production, no nothing. That was what you're banking on, no nothing. Plan to go on a tour, nothing.
As with
Nothing.
Buju.
And then you work in like, for example, the hotel industry or at a restaurant where the clientele has been decreased and
Dependent
they're letting
on
people
price,
go.
yeah.
I wonder, will I be let go soon? I have mortgage to pay, I have car loan, I have kids to send to school. Then you have the homeschool stuff going on, which is crazy. I have kids at home and Jano started at a stress
Yep.
because I'm an adult and
know
I
about
find
it.
it hard to be on a Zoom meeting for more than 1 hour. It's unrealistic to expect a kid to be in front of
Yeah.
the computer all day.
Well, if they were playing Call of Duty, no.
Yeah, well, to a certain extent, but for the whole day. And it's a whole change because my living room is now a classroom. And I keep forgetting I walk into my son's class and my social drawers and stuff. And come into the room, I said, Daddy, you just want in the classroom? I said, "Yeah, whatever." Get a screen. It's good to get a screen. Have a screen.
Talk about your gynecology
Have a screen.
happenings of the day. I was
Yeah.
working on this certain type of Yo.
So you have to adjust to that.
Yeah.
So many things to adjust to. And I think this is an excellent time for all of us to look out for one another and be our brother's keeper. Seriously, this is an excellent time to perform random acts of kindness, to reach out to people who are less fortunate than we are. Not just financially, but even socially. You're going to say something. Sorry.
No, I hate to bring it back to the Buju thing, but I can't help but think that somebody like him, you'd like to think that somebody like him would have been a conduit to spread them type of feelings in these times.
I was
Not
hoping
people get so much joy from his music,
Right.
and him being a performer, but the messages that he's spreading is, who for dead.
I think in some respects, this pandemic has, we like to talk about masks a lot, but I think it has unmasked a lot of us. It has unmasked a lot of us, I mean, I give an example. I have a colleague who thought he saw somebody with COVID. He thought the person may have had COVID, but he wasn't sure. And it was in the early days and they hadn't gotten tested. So because he thought it was possible, he went home and quarantined himself for 2 weeks. He's in private practice. He doesn't get paid by a hospital. So he went home and stayed there for 2 weeks. Sorry, because he didn't want to risk infecting someone. Another colleague of mine told me about a colleague he knows who actually had it and didn't quarantine fully and went back to work. So you see, it unmasks a lot of us. Those of us who genuinely care about humanity and mankind, those of us who are genuinely kind, it brings out the best in us. Those who are selfish, it will bring out that side of them as well.
Because somebody in the field, that you're supposed to know, died from this, toots.
We know. Well,
In entertainment.
Yes, in
Oh,
entertainment.
because
yes.
One of my colleagues
course,
died.
people-
At least 2 of my colleagues died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying though, like you would think it would have hit close to home to somebody like that.
Again, it just brings out, it unmasks people, and some of us lack empathy. Some of us are unable to put ourselves in another person's position and ask, how would I feel if that was me?
Yeah.
Some of us have basically nurturing personality and some of us don't. And I think this has unmasked a lot of that.